Director NCPOR, Dr. Thamban Melot, distinguished delegates, eminent scientists, faculty, and all of you present here to this conclave on marine multi-hazard services for the Indian coastline. We are gathered here today in this scenic state of Goa, where land embraces the sea, to reflect on how science, technology, and collaboration can strengthen our collective resilience against ocean-related hazards. Before we begin this eventful inaugural ceremony, 4 of our students from Goa University, Ms. Yukta Sambari, Ms. Varda Gaunkar, Ms. Falguni Joshi, and Ms. Yukta, would like to welcome our delegates and esteemed guests with an invocation song.
आम्हाला आज व्याचे जागडे
students. As a gesture of warm welcome and gratitude, I request the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Goa University, Professor Harilal B. Menon, sir, to present a fruit basket to the Honorable Chief Guest and Chief Minister of Goa, Manya Dr. Pramod Sawant, sir. Thank you, sir. I now request the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Goa University to present a fruit basket to the Director ESSO-INCOIS, Dr. Balakrishnan Nair. Thank you, sir. I request Honorable Vice Chancellor of Goa University to present a fruit basket to Colonel Nadeem Arshad, Senior Consultant, NDMA. I also request, sir, to present a fruit basket to the Director NCPOR, Dr. Thamban Melot. Thank you, sir. I now request the Director ESSO-INCOIS, Dr. Balakrishnan Nair, to present a fruit basket to the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Goa University, Professor Harilal B. Menon. Thank you, sir. Light expels darkness and is a symbol of purity, knowledge and guidance. To mark an auspicious start to this program, I invite our Honorable Chief Guest along with the other dignitaries on the dais to inaugurate the function by lighting the traditional lamp. Thank you all. Dr. Balakrishnan Nair, the Director of the Indian National Centre for Ocean Information Services, ESSO-INCOIS, is a pioneering figure in operational oceanography with 25 years of experience. A founder member of ESSO-INCOIS, he has led the development of real-time ocean observing systems, ocean forecasts, and early warning services that benefit India and several Indian Ocean rim countries. He plays a key role in global and regional oceanographic bodies, including UNESCO's GOOS and the World Meteorological Organization, and has been instrumental in establishing international collaborations for ocean forecasting and multi-hazard early warning systems. Dr. Nair has received several honors, including the prestigious National Geosciences Award, and has published extensively in over 110 research papers. May I now invite Dr. Balakrishnan Nair, Director ESSO-INCOIS, the person leading one of the most advanced ocean services centers in the world, to welcome the gathering.
Thank you very much. Honorable Chief Guest and Chief Minister of Goa, Dr. Pramod Sawant, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Goa University, Professor Harilal B. Menon, Colonel Nadeem Arshad, Senior Advisor NDMA, Dr. Thamban Melot, Director NCPR, my colleagues from various sectors of maritime activities, from Navy, Coast Guard, Maritime Community, NDRF, STMAs, NDMA, and distinguished scientists, students, and delegates from port and harbors, oil and gas, maritime boards, and the faculty of Goa University. On behalf of Indian National Center for Ocean Information Center, ESSO-INCOIS, Hyderabad, National Disaster Management Authority, NDMA, the Goa University, I warmly welcome you to the conclave of Marine Multi-Hazard Service for West Coast of India, jointly organized by ESSO-INCOIS, NDMA, and the Goa University. We are honored to have with us the Honorable Chief Minister of Goa, Dr. Pramod Samanji, our guest of honor, Professor Harilal Menon, Vice Chancellor of Goa University, Colonel Nadeem Arshad, Senior Advisor NDMA, and my dear friend Dr. Tamban Melat, Director NCPR, and representatives from Navy, Coast Guard, ports, fisheries, offshore industries, NGOs, students, and faculty. It's a privilege to host all here in Goa, state that is a tourist paradise and capital of cultural diversity. To most of us we are a product of Goa because most of them have their higher education in Goa. So it is our moral duty also to have this Goa state what the ocean sands can deliver. So you know, sir, India has got 11,000 kilometer long coastline in both source of immense opportunity, and it is also zone of high vulnerability. Our oceans sustain livelihood, power economic growth, and support national security, but they also pose significant risk in form of tsunamis, storm surges, high waves, soil surges, oil spills, marine heat waves, and emerging threat of climate change. So, sir, actually 1945 there was a tsunami from the Makran subduction zone. So almost 80 years are over, and there is also the west coast is vulnerable. In addition to that, Arabian Sea also increasing the cyclone, storm surges, high waves, and soil surges impacting fishing and shipping industries. You know, sir, actually we have a lot of events coming with the high waves, soil surges, what we say in Kerala and Tamil Nadu, Kallakadal, which is as a small tsunami it comes and it floods most of the coast, and there was almost a death of 26 people in Tamil Nadu and Kerala during 2024 May. So we have recent incidents like the oil spills and the hazard waste disposal in the Kerala coast when two ships sunk. So in addition to that, you have a lot of monsoon variability, and on top of that, big threat for the ocean, the sea level rise, which have a lot of cascading effect. So Goa, being a tourism hub and a maritime state, reflect the need for balancing economic growth with disaster resilience. Sir, at ESSO-INCOIS, our vision has always been service to the society. Through state-of-the-art ocean observation, advanced modeling, and cutting-edge information technology, ESSO-INCOIS provides multi-hazard early warnings and advisory service from the tsunami, storm surge, high waves, and small vessel advisories, and oil spill and marine heat waves. We are proud that our effort in close collaboration with the NDMA and state disaster management authorities have saved countless lives and minimized economic loss. I would like to emphasize that ESSO-INCOIS has maintained a zero false alarm record for tsunamis, avoiding unnecessarily evacuation while ensuring public trust in the services. ESSO-INCOIS, in partnership with the Goa University, will deepen academic and research collaborations on ocean hazards. So one of the major agenda here, sir, how to focus the young minds for the science what we need, the nation we want, to how to contribute to the ocean science to the national development in terms of for the blue economy as well as the disaster risk reduction. Yesterday we have a meeting here, all the stakeholders of Goa participated, blue economy stakeholders, and we made a lot of recommendations and the future plans, how to support the state of Goa by ocean science for the blue economy stakeholders. So, sir, actually together we aim to identify practical strategies for disaster risk reduction, promote from tsunami-ready communities to multi-hazard ready communities, and strengthen the safety of the critical coastal and offshore infrastructure to prepare ourselves for climate ready. Sir, in collaboration with the UNESCO, UNESCO, we have a program called Tsunami Ready. Be seeing almost 11 indices. We make the UNESCO declare each village as tsunami ready villages. I'd like to tell proudly that India's highest highest number of tsunami ready communities, almost 26 in the state of Orissa, and with a very strong collaboration with the Orissa State Disaster Management Authority, we made it. So we want to make Goa also a tsunami ready community. So it will be an added advantage to Goa, because Goa is a world tourism destination. So the UNESCO ready tsunami community will make Goa more secure, and people will be more happy to visit Goa. So in addition to that, we are also have a plan to make all our beaches with the security, to avoid all the ocean hazard threats, as well as the water quality for the better enjoyment at the beaches. So along with the Goa University, we are planning many of the programs that can be beneficial to Goa as well as the West Coast all. So the main purpose of this meeting today is to collaborate and partnership with almost all stakeholders to make the entire West Coast, the multi-hazard prepared and ready for the future any kind of calamity comes. So let us focus on strengthening early warning dissemination for the coastal district and fishermen, build a resilient infrastructure at ports, harbors and offshore platforms, enhancing coordination among Navy, Coast Guard and STMAs and industries, preparing Goa and the West Coast to the multi-hazard ready, climate ready and the economically resilient. Preparedness is the strongest protection. With science, technology and partnership, we can safeguard every life and livelihood along the West Coast. Thank you for joining us here, sir. Let us work together to translate our collective expertise and experience to actionable strategies that deliver greater safety and security for our coastline and communities. I once again welcome all of you and look forward to fruitful discussions and actionable outcome from this important gathering. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for those insightful words. If ESSO-INCOIS represents the science of the oceans, NCPOR has been at the forefront of India's polar and oceanographic explorations, providing critical knowledge on our climate and marine systems. We are privileged to welcome Dr. Thamban Melot, the director and a distinguished scientist at the National Center for Polar and Ocean Research, whose pioneering work focuses on climate variability and its impact on glaciers in the polar regions. With over 2 decades of contribution to polar sciences, he has led and participated in numerous expeditions to the Antarctica, the Arctic, the Himalayas, and the Southern Ocean, including India's first scientific expedition to the South Pole in 2010. Recipient of the prestigious National Geoscience Award and several other honors, Dr. Melot is a fellow of the Indian Academy of Sciences, the National Academy of Sciences India, and the Norwegian Scientific Academy for Polar Research. With over 125 research publications and leadership roles in global scientific committees, he continues to advance India's presence and contribution in polar research. It gives me immense pleasure to invite Dr. Thamban Meloth, Director NCPOR, to share his perspectives with us.
Thank you, Honorable Chief Minister of Goa, Dr. Professor Pramod Sawanji, Professor Harilal Menon, Vice Chancellor Goa University, Colonel Nadeem Arshad, Consultant of NDMA, my dear friend Dr. Balakrishnan Nair, the Director of ESSO-INCOIS Hyderabad. We all did PhD in Goa, so we have always a close love and affection for Goa. So that also reflects actually why Bala chose, I think, probably when we come from the West Coast, we came to Goa to bring the community together. As most of us realize, actually, the climate change is the grandest challenge which the community or the world faces now, and it's going to be even much more double in coming decades. So as the climate is changing, so is the world. As we have seen, the extreme rainfalls, extreme heat waves, extreme cold waves, and so much of life being lost in the Himalayas, as we have seen this year during most of this during the monsoon season. Several life lost on the coast during this swell surges and storm surges, and we call so many of them actually happens on a day-to-day basis. All this has connections to the changing climate, and that's going to be be there, and we can't stop that directly. But what we can do is that prepare for that. And the prime example of actually how a nation should prepare for such kind of challenges, I would say, is the ESSO-INCOIS at Hyderabad. An institution just grown over the last 25 years, become a kind of world leader in operational oceanography. That was clearly the vision of some of those visionaries started the institution, as well as the people who are the founders of this institution, who worked so hard, so much with the community when the science was considered to be on in the upper echelons and actually in ivory towers. They were going to fishermen, they were going to ports, they were going to people who are actually going into in the field. So that made the difference, because that brought the actual knowledge, actually what a stakeholder wants from the scientists. That made those operational models working the way it should be, providing the information which is direct, live, and as well as actually accurate. So the accurate, the predictions are what made the huge difference for the last several years. If you ask anyone along the West Coast and East Coast, actually they will tell you actually the kind of impact that such kind of support made the difference to whether it's a fisherman, whether the vessels, whether the Navy, Coast Guard, you name any of the small vessels and so on. So that is what actually I think the most important aspect which I think over the last 2 decades have happened in the country. And joining hands with the National Disaster Management Authority, which is the prime agency to deal all such kind of things, that makes again a game changer, I would say, because that brings finally what the science which you learn to a platform, operational platform, which you are also dealing with the implementing finally to support the real activity on field. So that again I have seen actually happening for the last, in fact that's last several few years. So the kind of the growth and therefore actually the final implementation of it actually will make the huge difference the way the country is going to face those challenges in coming decades. And of course we can't deal with everything, but actually whatever with this the knowledge what we have it, if that comes to the help of society and the stakeholders at large, that will make a huge difference. So I can see that actually in this auditorium actually the kind of the multitude of the stakeholders being here, that shows the real interest actually, also the commitment actually the ESSO-INCOIS made to the public activities. So thank you so much actually again joining hands with Goa University, I think the prime university within the in this part of the world, and who also have the kind of expertise developed over the several decades now. I think it's an extremely important step, and it will really make a big difference and involving the local population as well as the local youngsters into such kind of activities. Thank you so much to Dr. Balakrishnan as well as Professor Menon for actually this initiative, and thank you Goa for hosting it. Thanks to the Chief Minister for ensuring actually that all this is supported so well. Thanks to each one of you.
Thank you, sir. It is my great pleasure to introduce the guest of honor of today's function, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Goa University, Professor Harilal B. Menon, to this gathering. Professor Menon has been a strong pillar in our university's pursuit of excellence. His outstanding leadership proudly helped us attain university's highest accreditation grade of A+, a milestone that speaks volume of his dedication and impact. Beyond his administrative excellence, Professor Menon's contribution to academia, research and innovation has been extremely profound. His groundbreaking research, including the development of the Goa University Case 2 Water Algorithm, GUC2, has not only advanced scientific understanding but also influenced policy and technology development, notably contributing to the design of the Ocean Color Sensor OCM3 by ESSO. Moreover, his leadership in conceptualizing and implementing national projects such as ARFI, Nobel and SATCORE underscores his commitment to advancing scientific knowledge and addressing pressing environmental challenges. May I now invite Honorable Vice Chancellor of Goa University, Professor Harilal B. Menon, to present his remarks to the gathering.
Honorable Chief Minister of Goa, Dr. Pramod Savanji, Colonel Nadeem Ashrat, representative from National Disaster Management Authority, my colleagues, Director ESSO-INCOIS, Dr. Balakrishnan Nair, Director NCPR, Dr. Tamban Melot, my colleagues from various schools on campus, scientists from ESSO-INCOIS, all the delegates from various, especially stakeholders of both NDMA as well as SDMA. NDMA stands for National Disaster Management Authority and State Disaster Management Authority. More importantly, my dear students, media personnel, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, it's my great privilege to stand before you when we have this conclave on marine hazard services. We are actually deeply honored. In fact, I have been discussing this matter with Dr. Balakrishnan for quite some time, and then ultimately that has been culminated. And I must also say that the esteemed Chief Minister, without any hesitation when I approached him, he has accepted the invitation. Sir, we are really honored because of your gracious presence on this occasion. When you look at the Indian coastline, it is stretching over 11,000 kilometers. It's both a source of immense opportunity and, of course, a zone of vulnerability. Our communities, especially when you look at Goa, 25% of the people are basically, depending on ocean-related resources for their livelihood. So therefore, how to help them? Science has been going on, but then that science or the research output coming out of the laboratory should not be confined in that. Rather, it should be applicable in the sense that lab-to-land approach. And I'm very happy to inform in front of my Honorable CM is that we are in the process of developing an app which would help the fishermen to identify potential fishing zone. In fact, this is additional to what ESSO-INCOIS is doing. We have developed an algorithm which, in fact, while introducing, the comparer has said that basically Goa University Case 2 Water algorithm would be applied, and we are in the process of doing that. We will be training the fishermen in the state of Goa and then we have to do validation, etc. So that's all on the way. So that's the way in which we are going ahead. And again, in this meeting, in fact, in this venue, after some time we will sign an MoU between INCOIS and Goa University. That's basically to have a cell for all that related to disaster management, but then academic and research. I'm extremely happy to tell you that Goa University is one of the first universities to introduce NEP-based curriculum. Why it is so? Why it's important? It's a blessing in disguise, I would say, because if you look at the ocean, around 70% of the earth is covered by ocean. And then there are a lot of calamities going on. And if you see the present circumstance of cloudburst, you have seen that in the last almost 1 month back, there was a cloudburst wherein 46 people were trapped. And this is the way in which climate change is happening. And Goa has experienced a cyclone for the first time in the history of Goa state, I would say that in the year 2020. And then we were all, badly affected. The big trees were uprooted and the electric lines were, cut, and then almost 1 week to 10 days we did not have any electricity. So therefore, the thought process is that how to train the youngsters for the national requirement. That is where NEP has come into picture, wherein we have lots of flexibility. In the sense that, we find that mathematics students, physics students, or let's say biology, or chemistry, or for that matter humanities, are shying away from this kind of a research. They say they do a research activity, they come out with a publication, fine, they are happy with that. But then, we need more operational oceanographers, wherein this NEP structure will help. I'll explain you. Once you have a cell here, wherein we will have, once we sign an MoU with INCOIS, we will have those scientists who are really mathematicians in INCOIS. They would be able to help our mathematics students when they take a dissertation. Because all the PG program that's being offered from Goa University, there is a component of dissertation. And that dissertation, again, I always specify that it should be Goa-centric problem. Because any problem which Goa people is suffering from, that has to be taken as the research and then find a solution, so that will be helpful to the government for policy making, etc. So that's the way in which we are going ahead. Therefore, this cell of Center for Interdisciplinary Studies, which we are going to establish, that would be the nodal office for all this activity, whether it's a physics student or a mathematics student or any of those students, because they will get a degree in mathematics, but at the same time they would understand that how this could be applied for the real world problem. Because just giving a degree without having any expertise in the real world problem is of no use. Rather, they must know that what is the problem and how to handle the problem. And that is where, in fact, I would say INCOIS is, I would say that I would really appreciate INCOIS that with the 37 scientists, if you look at NIO, it's almost triple size of that. With the 37 scientists, they have been working across the country, I would say. Any disaster is there, they are there. In fact, every aspect. So I really feel that it is a duty of a higher education institution to see that we supply trained manpower to this INCOIS, so that the students will get an exposure and then they will realize that the research is not only to be confined in the laboratory and then publication, rather it can directly applied. So that's the way in which we are doing. In fact, I'm very happy to inform the August gathering that School of Earth, Ocean, Atmospheric Science has been working on, the retrieval of geophysical product from satellite data, wherein, we have the satellite. To launch a satellite, we spend almost 450 or more than crores of rupees. And then it was confined, all those activities were confined in the few institutions, just for research. Rather, it should go to the grassroots level. So how this, the space technology could go, so that the lifestyle of the common man would be accelerated. So that's the way we have been working. So therefore, we have actually, for the first time, I would say that in the country, ESSO-INCOIS, School of Earth, Ocean, Atmospheric Science, has developed algorithm for retrieving inorganic materials, organic materials, and also dissolved organic material. Organic, when I say that, basically the phytoplankton, I think those who know, related to that would understand, that is an index of productivity. So that is where what we do is that once we develop that app, we will tell the fishermen that, and that app will be there in their handset, and we will tell that this is the place you cast your net. In the sense that with the less expenditure from their pocket, they would be able to go there, cast their net and get the maximum catch out of that. This is the aim we have, and the satellite, especially the processed satellite data, will be there on our server, and they will have the access. The fishermen will have the access there, and they will be able to say that this is the way in which we have to go. All those things will be done, and that maybe in another 2 to 3 months we'll do that. And once again, I thank ENCOIS director and all those the stakeholders who are related to NDMA or the disaster management related, especially SDMA and NDMA, for assembling here, and let us work together. In fact, I would say that every program, whether it is humanities or science, every program will have a component of disaster management, because, as I said earlier, we have 11,000 kilometers of coastline, and that is where we are, facing a lot of threat and then loss of life, etc. So how the work you carry out, whether it is humanities, whether it is science or technology. In fact, technology also we have, in fact, Honorable CM has inaugurated one research park over here, wherein we have 3 incubators, bio, health and IT incubator. So that provision is also given. So in the sense that we would be able to come out with the new technology, and thereby we would see that our people are in the safe hand. Thank you so much. And I would, before I close, I once again thank ENCOIS for this opportunity, and also I thank profusely our Honorable CM for his gracious presence. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for the insightful remarks, which as always would inspire and motivate our students and delegates. As the apex body guiding India's disaster preparedness and response framework, NDMA plays a pivotal role in safeguarding our nation against natural hazards. We are honored to welcome Colonel Nadeem Arshad, Senior Consultant for Operations at the National Disaster Management Authority, Government of India. With over 3 decades of distinguished service in the Indian Army Corps of Signals, followed by his ongoing leadership at NDMA since 2021, Colonel Arshad brings a wealth of experience in operations, communication systems, and disaster management. His career reflects an unwavering commitment to national service, first in uniform and now through strengthening India's preparedness and response to disasters. Colonel Arshad's insights will highlight the critical importance of integrating marine multi-hazard services into the broader architecture of national disaster governance. With great respect, I now invite Colonel Nadeem to kindly address the gathering.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Honorable Chief Minister, Dr. Pramod Sawant sir, Professor Menon sir, Dr. Mehlot sir, and Dr. Nair sir, Balkrishna Nair sir, distinguished guests, senior officials, colleagues, members of the armed forces, CAPFs, SDRF, and all the stakeholders. In one way or the other, we are all stakeholders. Good morning and Jai Hind. Indeed, it is a proud privilege for me to represent NDMA out here. And before I start, I would like to thank Dr. Pramod Sawant for his unwavering support for various endeavors of NDMA, the various projects undertaken by NDMA, whether it is Abda Mitra, the disaster management exercises, and several others, which have been absolutely unwavering support from him and his office and his officials. Second, another great milestone in ENCOIS, most of you may not be aware, is a recipient of Netaji Subhash Chandra Abda Prabandhan Puruskar, which is the highest Puruskar in the disaster management field, which carries for organization, it is 51 lakhs and a plaque. Out of 37 organizations, they were the winners of this award for this year. NDMA came into existence in 2005 by virtue of various disasters. Previously, we were only responding once the disaster happened. Now we are in a different form. We now prepare ourselves to response before the disaster can even come. Towards that end, ENCOIS plays a very important role. They give you 7 to 8 days warning, an exact place where the landfall going to take place. That's where their ingenuity, their scientist work comes into play. NDMA primarily is a body which formulates policies, guidelines, integrates coordination between the armed forces and the civil stakeholders. That is to say, Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, the NDRF, the SDRF, and everyone else. It coordinates. It gives a fusion between the armed forces and the civil counterparts, so that we work in single synergy to bring about the changes and preparedness, so that our population is taken care, the disasters are mitigated in a response time. Strengthening the preparedness, coordination, which is a very important role. As the previous speakers have already confirmed that we have a coastline which is quite a bit, 11,000 kilometers, and out of that, the western coastline is almost 4,500 kilometers. Out here, if we do not take care, the tsunamis, the cyclone, the storm surge, the oil spill, everything affects our population. And let me assure you, if we do not take care of the disasters, it will be a disaster for us also, for the nation. For example, you must have heard the name of the Somalia, and most of us would know why it is famous now. It's for the piracy. How did it come into existence? It came because of frequent droughts out there, which led the people of Somalia, the Somalians came to the fishing thing. There they realized that their fish is being taken away by the various other countries. So they started protecting their fishes. Initially they captured some boats, told them to get lost. They didn't. Ultimately what happened? They started capturing the boats, and subsequently it became a business of piracy. If you do not take care of the disasters, such thing might happen. That is the reason why we need to take care of the disasters. Today, why we are here? Have you ever thought of it? It is not just for knowledge sharing. ENCOIS has several things to give us. We have to learn from ENCOIS. Not just the partnership with them, not just a technology think tank, what we think of, but to ensure that we learn from them to make our nation resilience, improve our capabilities, not only nationally, but globally, so that we can take care of one and all. You people are the brand ambassador, the students. If you work with us, if you take care of the disaster at home, you can teach thousands in your community. That is where your strength comes to us. What does ENCOIS gives us? Professor Menon has already emphasized a lot, and so has Dr. Balakrishnan Nair, sir. Seamless coordination as far as early warning is concerned. Here I would like to ask you, how many of you honestly have Sachet app on your phones? Just raise your hand. Sachet app on your phone. Why so? Why not all of us? For the armed forces officers, I would request you to please have it. It's an order from the Chief of the Army Staff through the CDS for your as well as from your respective chiefs. It is an app which gives you this is available for Android as well as iPad, Apple. Just download it. It'll give you exactly, you lay out a program wherever you want to. You just put a stroke, I want at Goa, in Panaji. You will get exactly what is happening in Panaji as far as weather is concerned. You will come to know the warnings which comes on that. Please have it. NDRF, why do you have it? That's the reason why they have it. SDRF officers, sir, please have it. Please download it for yourself. The strengthening of institutional capabilities, it comes when we hold hands with each other. That is where we are. That's where we have to be. And with that, I would request you all to please take care and be part of the disaster resilience nation, so that we look after one and all and establish ourselves globally so that people can look at us. Today, you have seen, we were the first one to reach Turkey and Syria, in spite of the fact that we do not have very good relations with them. Yet we helped them. Similar was the case with Pakistan when they needed in Bangladesh. Again, when Myanmar came, Rohingyas came, we helped them out. Sri Lanka, we gave them financial support when they were in bad situation as far as debt is concerned. There are several instances. It is because of you people. If you strengthen the nation, if you give us something as far as stakeholders, as part of stakeholders, we can achieve a lot. And today's and conclave of this leads to us to that. With that, I come to end. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. We now proceed to a significant moment of the day, the signing of the MoU between Goa University and ESSO-INCOIS for academic and research collaborations. This partnership will deepen joint efforts in marine research and disaster preparedness. The Indian National Centre for Ocean Information Services and Goa University have several common grounds for working together. There have been many collaborative projects between the two organizations in the past. In order to formalize and expand the scope of these collaborations, particularly in research and development areas, academic programs, and to facilitate increased societal outreach, ESSO-INCOIS and Goa University have agreed to enter into a memorandum of understanding now. This MoU will now be formally established with the signatures of the Director of ESSO-INCOIS and the Vice Chancellor of Goa University, witnessed by this August gathering. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as we extend our best wishes for a long-lasting and fruitful collaboration between these esteemed institutions of international repute.
Anuj. Anuj. Hey.
Thank you all. Ladies and gentlemen, we are deeply honored to have with us today as the chief guest of today's function and the Manya Dr. Pramod Sawant sir, the Honorable Chief Minister of Goa. A dedicated leader and visionary, Dr. Sawant began his journey as an Ayurvedic doctor and a social worker before devoting himself fully to public service. His flagship initiative, Swayampurna Goa, reflects his vision of a self-reliant and empowered state, focusing on entrepreneurship, skill building, and sustainable growth with community well-being. It is indeed an honor and a privilege to have you with us today, sir. I now humbly invite the Honorable Chief Minister of Goa, Mananiya Dr. Pramod Sawant ji, to inaugurate this conclave with his keynote address.
Good morning, students. Good morning, students. Good morning. कितले जाण आपदा मित्र जावपाक तयार आसा? आत्ता त्यांनी जे सांगले पळय न्ही, वी हॅड गिवन अ फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट ट्रेनिंग थ्रू अवर फायर एंड सर्विसेस डिपार्टमेंट. 300 boys and girls have joined for this Apada Mitra training, and at present, every village, at least 2 to 3 people, they are Apada Mitra for any disaster happens. Is it you people are ready? Yes. Ready asa काय ना? For the national disasters, आता जे सांगले केन्नाय ज्या टायमार जाय गरज तुमची आसा, you are signing the MoU, the university. MoU sign करून फायदो कितें तर? I think you want to prepare them for any type of disaster at any time. Then only the MoU will work. Anyhow, this conclave on the marine multi-hazard services for the Indian coastline. The guest of honor for this, Professor Harilal Menon, the Vice Chancellor of Goa University, Dr. Balakrishnan Nair, Director of ESSO-INCOIS, Dr. Tamban Melot, Director of NCPOR, and Dr. Adim Ashut of ESSO-INCOIS. The scientists and speakers for this event is Dr. Francis, Mr. M.V. Sunanda, Dr. Ajay Kumar, Sri V. Chandrasekhar, Dr. Hari Kumar. Dignitaries from the Ministry of the Earth Science, NDMA, ESSO-INCOIS, Goa University, officers of the Navy, Coast Guard, and State Disaster Management Authority, my dear friends. It is my privilege to welcome you all to Goa for this important conclave on maritime multi-hazard services for the Indian coastline. Jointly organized by ESSO-INCOIS and NDMA in collaboration with the Goa University with the support of NCPOR, NIO, and CESS. Goa's coastline is our strength. For us in Goa's ocean is our lifeline. Our 108 kilometers coastline supports tourism, fisheries, port, shipping, coastal agriculture and defense, but it also makes us the vulnerable. We have witnessed the impact of cyclone like Taukte, storm surges that flood low-lying areas, the rough sea sets that endangers our fishermen and changing the ocean's condition that disturb our ecosystem and livelihoods. Strengthening the disaster preparedness in Goa. Goa has always been quick to recognize this risk through the Goa's State Disaster Management Authority, and we have strengthened the preparedness of the coastal flood, storm surge and tsunami risk. We have updated our standard operations procedure. We have invested the community awareness. We are working closely with the IMD and ESSO-INCOIS to receive the timely warnings. But as hazardous is grown frequently and intensely, and we must strengthen our partnership of the state, national and community so that no village, no fisherman, no tourist is left unprotected. This is why today's conclave is important. ESSO-INCOIS and NDMA have brought together the representatives from the Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka and Kerala states and along the west coast so that and we can learn from each other. After all, cyclone, tsunami, oil spill, storm surge and not stop at state borders. Our response cannot be fragmented. In Goa, we have imbibed the resilience into our border regions of Swayampurna Goa 2.0. We want every village to be disaster aware, self-reliant and preparedness. Our fishermen now receives the ocean advisories and potential fisher zones forecast directly on their phones. Our coastal panchayats are being trained in a disaster risk reductions, enabling them to act as a first responder. Our investment sustainable tourism, the coastal infrastructure follows the principle of build back better. This vision resonates with the national call for Atmanirbhar Bharat. Just as India seeks to be the self-reliant in energy, industry and technology, we in Goa is working to be self-reliant in disaster preparedness. The Government of India has made the disaster risk reduction is a priority. The NDMA has issued the comprehensive guidelines for tsunami, cyclone and coastal flooding. ESSO-INCOIS has built the world-class early warning system among the best in the world. The Ministry of the Earth Science, through its missions, is ensuring that science serves society. At a global level, our efforts align with Sendai, the framework for the disaster risk reductions and United Nations Sustainable Goal, SDGs, especially the SDG 13 on climate action. As a coastal state, the Goa directly contributes to the India's global commitment to building the climate resilience and reducing the disaster risk. The resilience is about the communities. The friends, the hazards are inevitable, but the disasters are not. By strengthening early warnings and building the resilient infrastructures, we can save lives. But the resilience is not only about the technology, but it about communities. The fishermen who trust the advisory, the tourist operators and who understand evacuation protocol, a school that conducts the mock drill. These are the building blocks of a resilient Goa and a resilient India. I commend ESSO-INCOIS, NDMA and Goa University for hosting and timely conclave and signing this MoU. I urge all the participants to use this platform to exchange the experience, identify the gaps and co-create a roadmap and for the west coast of India. Let us conclave the result in the actionable outcome, the stronger SOPs, the better coordination between state and a wider outreach to commitment. On behalf of Government of Goa, I assure you all for our full support. We will work with the national agencies to implement the recommendations that emerge here. Together, let us make Goa and India West Coast the model of the marine multi-hazardous preparedness, the coastline that is safe, sustainable and secure for the generations to come. Once again, thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir, for sharing the government's vision for Goa with respect to disaster preparedness in alignment with the global sustainable goals, keeping in mind community well-being. As a mark of deep gratitude from Goa University, may I now invite the Honorable Vice-Chancellor of Goa University, Professor Harilal B. Menon, sir, to kindly present a memento to the chief guest of today's function and the Honorable Chief Minister of Goa, Dr. Pramod Sawant.